People usually hire us because we can provide services from the very beginning of a project, concept designing, even site location, to the very end, interior design and staging, as you will see in this home. So they do hire us for our design, but I also think that they hire us because I'm very direct with regards to the process, the costs. I work very hard to protect my clients in this journey, and I work really well collaboratively with my clients. I'm very fast, and I think that we deliver. I don't think we ever come at any project with the same ideas. We are open to developing any style of architecture, any emotional feeling within a space. But the reality is we go from mountains to fields to water. Most of our properties are view properties, so we're really oriented on whether it's 360-degree view or direct view. I am Cathy Purple Cherry, based out of Annapolis, Maryland. We are in Centerville, Maryland, which is known as the Eastern Shore of Maryland. This was a vision and a dream of our client, specifically while there is a husband and a wife. The husbands had dreamed of this for probably the last 25 years. He always wanted a Maryland-style generational compound that would support his family and his friends for a long time. So this project consists of 9 structures that are relatively closely located so that they're walkable. This client specifically knew a lot about the architectural style of what he wanted. That was actually terrific. He knew that he wanted a large Georgian style Maryland country home. He knew that he wanted painted brick. He knew that he wanted the out structures that are on the property. But at the same time, he was very open to allowing input, modification, changes, layering, heavy millwork, creative opportunities. And I think that's what allowed us as an office to really provide such a special design. The kitchen is a house unto itself. It consists of a big island with the whole kitchen prep area. It has a 6-foot-long custom-made stainless steel sink and 3 faucets. Love it. Next to it has the second island, but the island isn't actually a seating island. It's more like a piece of furniture, again custom designed, has a zinc top and is painted a different color in a coastal blue. Next to that is a third island table that is a slab of wood that was built and designed into a table with these industrial legs, and then beyond that is a casual sitting area against a fireplace. It is actually very functionally designed. There is a bar area, there is a coffee station area, there is the working components of the kitchen. Connected to that kitchen actually is a butler's pantry with great, fun, playful gray-on-gray brick flooring and stainless steel elements, open glass refrigerator, and that element supports the kitchen but also connects through to the formal dining room. The formal dining room, this house is large enough that it wanted a formal dining room. This is a 28,000 square foot home. And you can see all the way through the house. So it's connected, but it's formalized by the molding and the millwork that surrounds that space. The whole conversation was, does it take a formal dining table or does it take a casual dining table? Ultimately, the casual dining table won. This particular client also had a 25-year history of collecting magnificent artwork because, again, it's a feature that makes a house feel like it's truly a home. We're standing in the library, which is immediately off of all of the public spaces. This is what I call a double layered millworked room. We asked the client if we could actually do kind of this effort of creating special little moments throughout this room, which we did, obviously starting with the idea of the two little built-in benches with leather seats that flank the fireplace. That led to the built-in bookcases both sides. On the end of the home that consists of the billiards table and the bar is also the property owner's office. And it is a monochromatic room. What a monochromatic room means is that the room is one color. And frequently these one color rooms tend to sway into the darker color. So it's kind of a dark slate blue. And it incorporates warm browns in the leather and in the flooring and brass in the light fixtures. The most exciting part of this room is something that I'm getting ready to show you. It happens frequently. Sometimes these hidden doors actually go into a more functional space. That way you can hide your printer and copiers. In this particular case, this hidden panel goes into a space in which a safe is currently sitting. This is basically the game end of the house opposite the far end, which contains the kitchen. This is the party room. This billiards room, what I love about doing an intricate room like this, even though you may not recognize it, is every intersection of every piece of millwork and detail is actually designed and drawn. We designed these with slate insets so that the drinks can be set on the drink rail itself. The stools came from First Dibs, which is a terrific resource. The ceiling is a curved Doug fir beadboard ceiling. And let's step down into the bar. So what's so fun about this bar first is obviously the Chicago brick is used again. The horizontal V-groove to give it a more nautical feel and playful feel. One of the elements that is a lot of fun, if you follow me, is that behind the interior wood shutter, we play darts. Isn't that great? The double-story volume was created for two reasons: for the drama of the space, but also to integrate it back into the guest suite, which is located above. There are windows that connect that suite into this space. So I asked if we could do a little hidden stair that went down into the wine room. So welcome to the wine dining room. This dining room has been designed with all Chicago brick veneer, cut and mitered on all the groin vaults that you see in the ceiling. This was probably about 8 months of masonry work. The furniture was set up so that it can be combined together to create one long dining area. It was recently used for a wedding in the family, and the client allowed us to introduce this very large circular window and dining banquette area so that smaller groups could come down. Beyond through the circular window, you're actually seeing the conditioned wine cellar itself. So let's move that way. You go into a dark monochromatic built-in room. It is temperature controlled and obviously contains a very large volume of beverage. There is a theater room that's located down in the basement of the home. You always enter from its level floor that's level to the outside at the door, and then you tier a series of wood frame steps that allow you to platform your seating. So obviously there is a large 120-inch screen wall. All of the elements of technology are hidden other than seeing that piece. The walls are fabric acoustically paneled, but we got to select the fabric that was used in those panels, which is great. This is the mudroom of the house. It's located on one end of the home and it connects by an open breezeway to the 3-car garage. This space is larger than typical for a mudroom, so we had the great opportunity to actually turn it into a multifunctional room. Your typical built-in cubbies for exactly what you see, the shoes, the coats, the gloves, etc. Small pantry, using actually the old-time steel screening as a different character. Here's a small little powder room here with wonderful dog wallpaper. We've also brought into this room a large kind of outside potting flower space. You can see that it stores firewood, but at the same time, it's the opportunity for doing a lot of flowers and plants. We incorporated all kinds of materials and beautiful light fixtures above the window walls, which gives it a completely different character than what you historically think of as a mudroom. We're in the guest bedroom, which is on the opposite end of the house from the master suite. The starting point for me on this was that the bedroom, obviously the sleeping area, usually takes the most significant view. So this space is the sleeping area, and it connects to the water through the French doors and to an outdoor deck. This is a piece that we picked up at High Point, and I love integrating antique elements. And we're not talking about collector elements, we're talking about affordable antiques with new components. Creates a real wonderful warmth to it. I love the use of interior windows. Interior windows are a way to transfer natural light from the outside to the inner core of the home, and a way to transfer your view from the inner core of the home to the outside. I do a lot of interior windows in my homes. Then when you enter into what I basically call the functional space, this room, the fun thing about this room is it connects to the bar. So if we turn and look, you're going to see all the timber frame. So thus the reason we use the Doug fir color on the windows, so that these spaces would be tied together. I asked my client if I could elevate a banquette so that if someone was sitting at the table and working on their laptop, they still have full view of the water, which is what I'm seeing from here as well. And I accomplished that by lifting this piece up. This is the guest bathroom. It is a stunning room, completely and entirely encased in Calcutta marble, which is one of the most expensive marbles that you can actually use. There is no closet in this suite. These are the built-ins that represent the closet, obviously. The mirror is used so that it becomes a dressing room unto itself. And then further, the steel bars are put on the top because this is where you lay your suitcases. So as you step a little further and see the tiny little toilet room, this is where we used a fun wallpaper. Although relatively quiet, it's still a beautiful gray on white. And the rain head and wall fixture explode with water. This is a laundry room. Washer and dryer with folding counter above, hanging above that, as well as built-in storage and laundry baskets. Hex wall tile. But I think one of my favorite components of this house is what I'll call the self-serve open closet. As you spin around, what you're going to see, you're not going to see a closet door. You're not going to see an attempt to try to hide this. You're seeing a very well organized closet that allows all the guests in the house to come and take anything that they need. And should they forget their soap or their shavers or their water or their shampoo, here it is, all readily available to them. So you're in the third floor bunk room. There are two bunk rooms that actually basically match each other. One is the girls' end. You're in the girls' room now. It's turquoise color. The boys' is navy blue. This is a room that sleeps 7 people, single stacked, singles along the top, and obviously a double on the bottom. At each bunk is a controllable switch light. Bunk is not about sleeping, Bunk is about a party. And so to have a party, you want to keep a visual connection between the head locations, the sleeping ends of all of those bunks, so that everybody can tell stories. There's lots of whimsical moments from hidden objects that make the home quite unique. The end result of this for my client is the completion of a lifelong dream. This is a gentleman who has worked 25, 28 years very hard to grow a company from what was a local company to an international company, single ownership. And through that entire journey, he dreamed of this compound. How I feel is incredibly proud and honored to be involved and to be given the opportunity to use my creative mind at the highest level.
We're known for our modern, eclectic mix of furnishings, luxurious furnishings, things that we like to say are built for the eye but made for comfort. We love the beauty of marble. People typically say our work is clean, modern, eclectic. I am Michelle Gerson and my firm is Michelle Gerson Interiors. Our firm is based in New York City and we work on projects all over the United States. You name it, we'll go there. Today we are in Bridgehampton, New York, at a home that we built from the ground up with the homeowners. We did everything with this house. We got to go with them to pick out their windows, their doors, exterior, interior. Two of the most important factors in building a house are the windows, because I think they really are the soul of the house, especially in a beach house. It's what brings the outside in. And another thing that I think is really important to spend on is your floors. When you walk into a house and they have a beautiful wide plank floor, you notice it immediately. The whole entryway was a mathematical equation. We picked this really beautiful chandelier from Okra. It took us a long time to figure out, and we mocked up a bunch of stuff to see where we wanted the chandelier placed, at what height we wanted it to finish, where we wanted the wall panels to be, how to make the wall panels look like they were all the same size. The client also added some special pieces to the foyer, which was a Johnny Abraham's piece of art. There's an organic, beautiful piece of furniture from Bali that we purchased from Adriana Shamaras. And there's a collectible Wendell Castle chair that's wrapped in gold leaf and resin. And the staircase itself has a glass stair rail, which was really important because we wanted to be able to showcase the wall panels, the angle of the steps, and the art. The first thing we designed in the living room was a feature wall, which goes from the living room to the family room, which is made from a fluted cerused oak and bronze metal, which frames the fireplace. Both the living room and the family room have television sets in them, which we embedded into the fluting. The clients wanted to be able to use their living room like a family room if they were having a party. They wanted people to be able to watch a football game. The next thing we decided was what art we were putting in the room. So we basically picked the art pieces before we even designed the room. We knew that everything was gonna focus on both the fluted wall and the art wall. So we picked a rug customized for them by Rug Art. They're Vladimir Kagan sofas that are made from a fabric from Castell that's very durable. It's an alpaca mohair. It's comfortable, it's softer than a regular wool mohair. Here we are in the kitchen, the real heart of the home. We added in a beautiful Calcutta gold marble from Artistic Tile. They're very clean slabs with a beautiful, strong white background, which is not always easy to find. And we paired it with a gray cerused oak island. We layered in some bronze metal, which we then tie into the family room. And we added these amazing geometric square fixtures, which have these LED lights that light up all around all the edges and create a really cool focal point. We added a shiplap texture to the cabinets, which I think really helps make the cabinets not look like your average white kitchen. A lot of people are very afraid to use a real marble surface in their home, but have no fear. There are lots of things you can do. A, you could leave your marble alone, clean it every couple of years or have it sanded out. But in this home, we covered the island and the flat surfaces that people would be working on with tough skin, which is a very, very fine layer of material that protects your stone. Here we are in the dining room. One of the first things that we decided to do in the dining room was to use a very special artist to create this sort of ombre / mid-morning fog burning off effect on the walls. It's all done by hand. The artist's name is Heather Jozak. She's amazing. She really made our dreams come true in this dining room on the walls. We also added an amazing wine cellar. We had a little nook. It's not even deep enough to be a real closet that you could hang a coat in. And it's just about probably 18 inches deep, where a normal closet is 24 inches deep. We bought these panels from a company called Stacked, where you can buy the background in a variety of different colors, wood textures, things like that, and we combined them. Yet another math problem. We had these doors made from Manhattan steel doors. Voila, you got a wine cellar in the midst of the mid-morning fog. For this powder room, we used a beautiful slab of Calcutta viola from Artistic Tile. We created a sink from the slab, and then we did this very original broken joint down here, putting the mirror in between, and then continuing it on up into the ceiling portion of the bathroom. And the other walls we wrapped in a beautiful Venetian plaster in a blush color. The clients and I went on a field trip to Artistic Tile to pick out slabs for the kitchen and the master bathroom. And while we were there, we fell upon this amazing panda marble, and a bar was born. The primary bedroom is a really special room for us because it features one of our pieces of furniture, which is our bubble bed. It has a really high, dramatic headboard, and it's made from a beautiful LET soft fabric. We designed the rug for the bedroom with Edward Fields. It's made out of a silky nylon that feels so sumptuous on your feet. And we also added in fabric wall covering from Philip Jeffries. It may not be common for a beach house to have textured walls with wall coverings, Venetian plaster, all those things, but a beach house I design, it is very common. This entire primary bathroom has 22 slabs of lilac marble, which we got from Artistic Tile. We laid them out on the floor and we put them together like a big puzzle. The husband of the couple that lives here picked out the lilac marble. He was the one that insisted on the marble. He has such a good eye, and he knew that this marble would make a great impact. My favorite thing to do, integrated sinks that are actually made out of lilac marble. And we added these beautiful lilac chagrin cabinet pulls from Alt for Living. When you walk into the bathroom at nighttime, you don't have to turn the lights on. when it senses that a person is in the bathroom, it lights up down here, so it doesn't really wake you up by turning on the lights, and you can still see where you're going. If you notice, we have true fig outlets. So the outlets are flat and flush to the walls, and they are then painted by Heather Jozak, our artistic painter, to look like it's marble, so you don't see an ugly outlet anywhere. Here's your candy drawer hack. If you want to make the drawer look like it's full without completely filling it with candy, when you're building your cabinetry, you just build a small slot in the front and leave space for the window, stick the candy inside, close the drawer, and it looks like it's filled with Skittles. You may be wondering why there's a bunch of candy here. That's because, voila, welcome to the movie theater. Movie theater with really good acoustics that make you feel like you're in a cave, and has sparkly carpet and big delicious beds to lay on. We used like really cool acoustical panels, and we had them cut out in different shapes, squares, whatever, and made it sort of look like a puzzle on the walls. We bought these great chairs, by the way. They look like they're super custom. We got these from Crate and Barrel. And you know, at Crate and Barrel, you can customize using your own fabric, or you could use one of their fabrics. And we created this giant chaise lounge bed, and this room is probably one of the most favorite rooms in the house. The end result of this project is a house I want to move into. This house is like a cool, clean, fun space that has a lot of exciting elements to it, and it's a place you want to be.
People typically describe my work as the traditional Palm Beach look with a fresh twist. We're based in Palm Beach, Florida, but we work on projects all over. A lot of our clients have homes in the Northeast. We're getting a lot of projects in the Bahamas, out west, in Sun Valley, Idaho, as well as South Carolina. I try to infuse a younger look to the traditional Palm Beach, infusing a little bit of contemporary and modern. One project that I recently completed was Michael Jordan's golf club, Grove 23 in Hobe Sound, Florida. And we work closely with him as if it's sort of his second home. I am Caitlin Kah, and the name of my firm is Caitlin Kah Interiors. Today we are in Palm Beach, my wonderful client's home in town, close to Worth Avenue, so they can shop and walk to the Colony and grab a coffee. When we build a project of the spec home, we work really closely with the developer, architect. Everything is pretty neutral, no wallpaper, simple window treatments. The new owner had a lot of wonderful ideas, and we did too, and this is sort of the end product of that. His main goal was wallpaper. I have an amazing wallpaper installer. We picked out all the wallpaper in basically a month, and we left no surface untouched. We layered window treatments. We started to change out rugs. Lighting was a really big deal. And then we really came down to changing out the furniture. Always like to start with a walkthrough, and if it's a new construction house, I love to do it at the job site, even if there's no house there, or if there's an old house that's being knocked down, because I really think there's something about doing it in the space that's really important if it's possible. From there, we do what we call a design kickoff meeting, fabrics, furniture, rugs, and I also sort of call it like my reactionary meeting to see like how the clients react and what they gravitate towards. This home has a few instances where there are 20 to 30 foot ceilings. When this was just stark white drywall, it felt cold and not super inviting. So we added wallpaper here. It's by Armani. It's actually a faux bois pattern, so it sort of brings a little warmth to look like wood paneling, but in a more artistic way. And it really makes the space feel cozy, puts the whole room into perspective, and you still feel the expanse of the ceilings, and it has so much natural light, but at the same time it feels warm and cozy. The kitchen has a Cristallo quartzite. We again changed it from 2 pendants to one gorgeous long Lindsay Adelman chandelier, and then the staircase chandelier was a labor of love by Sarah in California. The formal living room was the first room that we really dove in with the furniture. What we had here before was really squared off sofas, rattan chairs, a little more classic Palm Beach, and I would say he's a bit more sophisticated than that. So we went to Holly Hunt and we used these stunning channel back sofa that had a nice curve to them to soften the space. Silk and wool rug, amazing drapery that does not detract from the light or the view. The finishing touch was 10 coats of Fine Paints of Europe high gloss lacquer that really finished off the space. We did lacquer because the ceiling was so white and massive. We thought, we've done wallpaper on the ceilings, we've sort of done it all. Let's do something different and let's define this space with something that isn't happening in any of the other rooms. The contrast between sort of the matte texture of the wallpaper and then this beautiful, shiny, almost watery feel, especially being on the water, reflects light in a stunning way that just plain drywall doesn't do. The dining room, we first ordered this amazing Armani dining table. You can seat 12 people. He can have amazing dinner parties, entertain all of his family. Did Venetian plaster on the ceiling in there to really give it a layered look and a little more matte because we have a gorgeous chandelier in there. The lighting was really important for us to transform and really take to the next level. Lighting is one of my favorite things. Each lighting sort of defines the space. In the dining room previously, there were 2 long pendants. We changed it to 1 linear pendant since we added such a long dining table. I think the lighting really sets the mood, it sets the tone. The powder room, a custom Holland Cherry. It's more of a texture and it looks almost hand painted. And of course we had to lacquer the trim. We lacquered the vanity as well. We chose the lacquer because it's a powder room and you've got to go all out in a powder room always. It's a small space and it's really an opportunity to take a risk. The lower level was sort of the most barren of the spaces. It's such an incredible bonus space that we really wanted to maximize it. The homeowner wanted to install this very large-scale fish tank. We used the same company who did all the millwork throughout and designed the kitchen. They also drew up a design for the fish tank to make it feel super integrated and almost as if it was always here. And then we back painted the glass and a custom Benjamin Moore color. And the result is this really big wow factor and wow moment when someone comes down the stairs to the lower level and they're surprised with a giant fish tank. The guest bedroom was meant to be a just sort of serene escape from the primary bedroom. It's almost opposite. It's neutral, the color still envelops you, but it's not the same depth and richness of color. And the ceiling, the millwork detail on there is really beautiful and it's very calming, and it's sort of nice to know that you do have that if you need it. The second guest bedroom, one of my favorite things in there is the window seat. It has this big, beautiful window, and you can sort of cozy up on the window seat and read a book. And it's off the back staircase, so it's really private, very quiet. The third guest bedroom has a beautiful Elite Industries upholstered bed with a Count and Tout fabric that's one of my favorites. It's textural, woven. When I worked on it with the developer, and all we did was add a beautiful textured wallpaper. And you have a little peek of the ocean out of those windows, which is nice. Greenery out the windows, so you sort of feel like you're up in the trees. One of the things we do when designing a house that is all white walls is we add textured wallpaper. It's a high impact item and that can transform a space and make it incredibly cozy. This wallpaper is Philip Jeffries. It has sort of a linear design to it, but still a nice heavy textural weave. The primary bedroom is probably one of my favorite bedrooms I've ever designed. It's very different from my typical serene blue and white bedroom. We really dove deep into color. You walk into the space and you almost feel like you're on a boat, you're on the second story, you have this amazing view of the ocean. The room almost gives you a hug because you look everywhere and you see the same thing. The primary bathroom was an extension of the bedroom. We really wanted to carry it through. We used the same color, but in a different pattern in the bathroom. So it was distinctive, but still really cohesive. And then we painted it out as well to match the primary bedroom. You have this view of the ocean. I would say the end result is warm, neutral, layered, comfortable. He loves to entertain, he loves having his friends and family. So really welcoming as well, and sort of a reflection of him and his personality. And I love showing people this house. I have a really deep connection to this project